What's the worst way you've ever been broken up with or broken up with someone?
I got priested once, so that hurt the ego.
What do you mean priested?
He was like, I can't see you anymore, I'm becoming a priest.
Did he actually become a priest?
I think it was a lie. I've used the nun thing a few times.
You turn out you're nunning people.
What is the worst way you've ever been ghosted?
So I matched with this guy on Tinder, and he's like, I love Filipina girls. And I was like, oh, I'm actually not Filipina. He goes, oh, what are you? I said, I'm Taiwanese. He goes, really? And then he unmatched me.
What is the worst way you've ever been ghosted?
So we're a few months in, we had a date planned. After I got off work, I was gonna go to his house, he was gonna make dinner, we were just gonna have a nice night in. And so I had texted him that morning and I was like, hey, just trying to figure out what the plan is. And he didn't text me back. And I was like, that's weird. So I went on my lunch break and I went to his Snapchat and it was gray. Went to his Facebook, couldn't find his Facebook, called him straight to voicemail.
What is the worst way you've ever been ghosted?
Oh, there's my therapist going to her office.
First red flag, guys. There's my therapist.
I'm not even going to therapy, I'm going to work. Anyway, he's like FaceTiming me and like calling me and like all about me. So anyways, I'm like, yeah, let's hang out. I haven't touched anyone. It's been a long pandemic lockdown. I'm down. So he drives an hour and a half to my house. Gets a speeding ticket on the way. He's super cool. We have a great time, made some dinner. It was awesome to like talk to someone. Not really sure it counts as a hookup when you feel like a paraplegic during it.
If he smashed you, ma'am, that's a hookup.
Anyway, so the next morning he leaves like super early, kisses me on the forehead, and says, I'll text you when I get home. Must still be driving.
What is the worst way you've ever been ghosted?
So my cousin is married to an Air Force guy, and she introduced me to one of his friends, and we started seeing each other. The vibes are good. We're feeling each other. Like, we're having a great time. We really enjoy each other. And he decides he wants to go home.
A woman that talks about vibes, guys, you have to avoid her. There is no energy. There are no vibes.
Home for Thanksgiving to surprise his family. I'm cool with that. He hasn't seen them in like a year, 2 years, something like that. It's been a while since he's seen them, so I don't care. Go home, see them, whatever. When he goes home, he brings one of his best friends and his supervisor, who is a girl. And I'm not the kind of girl who cares that guys and girls hang out, so this didn't like faze me at the time. And so less than a day into this trip, he is not answering my Snapchats, he is not answering my texts, he's not answering my phone calls. I think that's weird. And I come home from work and I see that he's unadded me on Snapchat, blocked me on Instagram, unadded me on Facebook, and the only explanation I get from him is I fucked up and nothing else. That's because he cheated on me with her, got engaged, and he has a baby due next month.
What is the worst way?
Guys, men and women cannot be friends. Yes, from the side of a woman, she can friend zone a guy, and she will never want more. But most of the times, when guys hang around girls, it's because they want to smash them. It's because they like them. It's not because their presence and their friendship is so interesting. It's not, guys.
You've ever been ghosted.
So I met this guy the very first day that I moved into college. Broke up with my high school boyfriend of 3 years. Like, we became inseparable. We did everything together. It was crazy. And then we went to a party on Halloween. So this is like, 3 months later? Went to a party on Halloween. My North Face jacket gets stolen and I cried. And then he just like ghosted me the next day. Just like nothing. We lived in the same building and we had all of the same friends. So
yes, ma'am, but you cried because of a jacket. Because of a jacket. Now just think about it, guys. What would happen if you were to date her, if you were to seriously date her? How emotional she would get from everything. I couldn't deal with that.
I don't even understand, but whatever. And then 6 months later, after no contact, he texts me and goes, let's talk. So after that, we dated for 3 years, and then he proposed to me, and then I said no, but then we stayed together, and
what?
Then he cheated on me.
From a man.
Those two deserve each other.
Man's point of view, ghosting is a beautiful gift because they are very direct. They don't like to, they're conserve energy beings. They don't want to waste your time. They don't like to talk about things that are like obvious to them. So if something is like, it's not working out, he knows you are not a good match. He's a healthy man. He's just going to ghost you. And that is a gift. He doesn't.
If that is a gift, guys, I've given so many gifts to women.
you know, he's not leading you on.
If a man walks away from you or ghosts you with no explanation, or they may have other options and things like that, what you don't want to do as a woman is question it. You don't care. You're unbothered, okay? If you are not unbothered when you're ghosted, then you're doing this all wrong.
If you're in the
Yes, but women are very emotional and they only care about their feelings. Oh, but he ghosted me. How can he ghost me? I'm a princess.
Early stages of dating someone and they suddenly stop texting you, stopped initiating contact, stopped communicating out of nowhere, and you want to send them a text but you're not sure what to say, this is the text you're going to send them. Do not ask questions, just trust me on this. Hey, comma, how's life? Question mark. No emoji, no smiley face, just a question mark. And there are a few reasons this is a good text. Number one, it's a question, not a statement, okay? You don't want to be like, hey, or hi, because that's not actually provoking them to want to respond. But when you ask someone something, it does make them want to respond. Which brings me to reason number two. Based on what they say back, you'll have clarity. If they say, hey, sorry, I've been MIA.
Ma'am, when somebody ghosts you, that is an answer. You should take the hint. You shouldn't text him anymore because you just seem desperate, guys. And this goes to you men. Don't try to text her because you will seem desperate. Just move on. That's all.
Okay, maybe there's a valid reason. But if they don't respond altogether, or they give you some really short, lame-ass answer, then read the room. Reason number three, it makes you sound chill, not desperate. It's not like, hey...
Ma'am, once you send a message after you've been ghosted, you are desperate, you are needy, you are clingy. That's what men see.
Hey, is everything okay between us? This is not the time for that. Early stages. And reason number four, it's a genuine question. You are curious about how their life is.
What was the
No, you're not curious. You just want to see why did they ghost you. That's all. You're not curious about them.
exact moment that you knew you were getting ghosted?
He would text me goodnight, smiley face every single night, and then one night he dropped the smiley face. The next night he said night, and then I saw him driving around this blonde girl in his car.
What was the exact moment that you knew you were getting ghosted?
We'd gone on 4 dates and really hit it off. We parted ways at midnight and he wasn't responding to
No, ma'am, if you really hit it off, he wouldn't have ghosted you. That's only from your point of view.
my text the next day. 3 days passed and I got super worried. He had just moved to my city. He hadn't even started his new job yet. So I thought something must have happened to him. He could go missing and no one would know. It's not like he'd be a no-show to work. It's not like he really has very many friends. So I jumped on Facebook and found his sister and said, hey, I've been dating your brother and I haven't heard from him in days and I think something terrible happened. He texted me 5 minutes later, you're psycho. And that's the first time I realized I was being ghosted.
What is the worst?
I don't know how that's the first time she's been ghosted, guys. By her attitude and the way she talks, I would have assumed that she has been ghosted many, many times.
Worst way you've ever been ghosted.
This one is for me. So I was dating my Japanese ex for 3 years. We lived together. We had planned our whole life together. But then I had to return to Sweden because of visa problems. But we were cool with it because we knew in the future we're going to be together, right? So in January, I went to visit him in Japan and everything was like normal. It was fine. Then I had to go back to Sweden and COVID hit. So I started to plan to go to university in Japan. But then one
Long distance relationships never work. And you may say, oh, I know somebody that did that and it worked out. Your opinion doesn't matter, and I'll tell you why. When I'm talking in generalities. That means over 51%. I don't care if 10% of the time it works. Because I get a lot of comments, oh, I know somebody that did this, oh, I know somebody that did that. That doesn't matter from a statistical point of view. If more people understood statistics, the world would be a better place, guys. Long distance relationships never work. Why? Because there will always be trust issues. And it doesn't work. You're not there. You're not together all the time, guys. And you can't make a real emotional connection. I think it's the first time I've mentioned emotions. Emotions.
One day, I just couldn't contact him anymore. And he was just gone. And he had blocked me on every platform after 3 years of dating and living together.
Ladies, if you've been seeing someone or dating someone on a very consistent basis, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it feels like their energy is shifting.
Another woman talking about energy. Of course, it's so normal, guys. It's so normal.
And they are not responding.
The only time I use the word energy is when I get an energy drink. That's all.
As consistently to you, or they're being a little bit rude or aggressive, or they're just not treating you in the way that they were prior, then this is a sign that they're probably about to ghost you, and you can usually feel that. So when a person does decide to cut ties with you or ghost you, I want you to recognize that this is not your person.
Yes, ma'am, but women don't want to recognize the red flags. It's the same with relationships. No man can lie 24/7. No woman can lie 24/7. So even if that person says something and you see the red flags, you see them doing something different, women usually overlook that. And after that relationship fails, they start saying all men are trash. No, ma'am, it's your fault for not recognizing the red flags. Take accountability.
They don't want you, otherwise they would not walk out of your life. And as hard of a pill as it is to swallow,
yes, ma'am, it's a red pill.
Look at it as they are doing you a favor.
Hi, every minute that you spend drafting that epic call-out text to the guy who ghosted you after 3 dates is a minute you could be spending meeting a guy who won't ghost you.
True.
But by
true.
all means, go off queen, slay. You really showed him. I'm sure
Slay
he'll never be an
queens.
asshole to anyone again.
Slay
time you
queens.
got ghosted and you were just like, yeah, that makes sense.
One time when I was a freshman in high school, I went to this party and there was a senior there and we were flirting the whole time. So I was thinking, this is going pretty well. And then we started talking about movies. He asked me if I'd seen any good movies recently and I was like, Moulin Rouge, for sure. And cringy little freshman me thought it was cute to tell him that I watched that 6 times in one night.
That is not weird. No, not weird. Why would you watch a movie 6 times in a row? I don't get it.
And as soon as I realized I was digging a hole, I just kept going. Because then I went on about every Ewan McGregor movie I'd ever seen. And I definitely included the fact that I was watching all of them on purpose. I didn't hear from him after that, but it took me a few days to realize that that was why.
Only a few days.
Are you
Sorry guys for laughing so much, but I'm in a good mood today.
freaking kidding me? So let me get this straight. This person who ghosted you, meaning that they all of a sudden disappeared from your life. They stopped calling you, they stopped texting you, and they probably stopped responding to your calls and your texts. And this person who didn't have enough balls or self-respect or respect for you to have an adult conversation with you as to why.
Can you see how jaded she is? I don't have time for explanations to women like her. Why? Why? Because anything you say, she will still be jaded and she will still call you on all the names under the sun. And I don't have time for that. And I don't care, guys. I know some of you care, but I don't. I really don't.
Why they're not being in your life, leaving you wondering, did I do something wrong? What did I do? Are they literally dead?
Ma'am, if somebody ghosts you and then you start pondering and having life questions, what did I do? What did I do? You're the problem. Just move on. Why are people so soft? I don't get it. I swear I don't get it.
And causing you to go through psychological torture is all.
Psychological torture, guys. In all my time doing videos like this, and I've done over 300 videos in total, I've never heard anybody say psychological torture.
All of a sudden texting you again. And they're texting you again because they are bored. And you know how I know they're bored? Because if they were genuine about wanting you in their life, they would offer some sort of apology or some sort of explanation as to why they behaved in such a ratchet way.
If you are not unbothered when you're ghosted, then you're doing this all wrong.
Listen, you guys can do what you want based off of how you're designed and what you need to learn in this lifetime. But I will say, when you choose and fight against all of the emotions and insecurities that are telling you need to know why someone cut you off or ghosted you, it builds so much discipline in departments that you aren't even acknowledging. Because when you can control your emotions, not only are you building the habit of emotional intelligence, you're building discipline.
Ma'am, you do understand that emotional intelligence doesn't exist. Because if you're intelligent and if you're logical, then you can't think with emotions. So how is this even a thing, guys? How? When you're emotional, you're not thinking logical. When you're logical, you're not being emotional. So how can you be emotionally intelligent? I don't know. I don't get it.
Discipline in faith, you're building discipline within your own self-esteem. And that eventually correlates into your success, your happiness, your passion, your creativity. So do not sleep on fighting the urge to give in to your emotions behind some silly ass little boy ignoring you. But take it from someone who applied it years ago, and I know where I come from and where I am today, baby. Oh, it blessed me.
Worst way
Yes, ma'am, you're still on TikTok, still doing videos, of course.
you've ever been ghosted.
I think I win this round. So, I met my ex-husband in 2014 at a photo shoot. Moved in with him a few months later with my daughter. I literally moved an hour away, lost all my friends, all my family, to be with him. And
So she was a single mother before she met that guy.
fast forward to 2016, we got married. And then 2017, 14 months after we got married, he went to work one day and he never came home. Ever. I thought he was missing. I thought he got murdered. I put up like missing person posters all over the fucking city. And he just never came home. Never spoke to him again. Oh yeah, and that was 6 weeks after we bought a house together. He just left.
At least you got a free house, ma'am.
Forever.
What is the worst way you've ever been ghosted?
Okay, I think I win this one. I dated this guy for like a month, and basically on a Friday, he asked me to be his girlfriend. The next day on Saturday, he goes to Florida for like a convention work trip or whatever. We live in West Michigan. Once he leaves for Florida, I basically have no contact from him whatsoever. I can't get a hold of him at all for like a week. My friends spend all this time like doing all this like FBI investigating only to find out that it wasn't actually a work trip. He was basically on a vacation. Halfway through the vacation, he had a psychotic mental breakdown and he flew home to the eastern side of Michigan and he checked himself into a mental institution. We still haven't had contact at this point. Assuming I got ghosted, I get back on all my dating apps and several weeks later, I find him back on the dating apps. We match and he basically pretends like he's been trying to contact me the whole time. He claimed he needed a clean slate and he had his entire phone wiped clean and that's why he couldn't contact me.
Hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.